ನಮ್ಮ ಟಿವಿ ಫೇಸ್ಬುಕ್ ಪೇಜ್ ನ ಲೈಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬ್ ಚಾನೆಲ್ ನ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಕ್ರೈಬ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ನಮ್ಮ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬ್ ವಿಡಿಯೋ ಅಪ್ಡೇಟ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಬೆಲ್ ಐಕಾನ್ ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ನಮ್ಮ ಟಿವಿ ಕರಾವಳಿ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದ ನಾಡಿಮಿಡಿತ.
ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ ವೀಕ್ಷಕರೇ, ನಮ್ಮ ಟಿವಿ ಅರ್ಪಿಸುತ್ತಿರುವ ಹಾಗೂ ಯುನಿಟಿ ಹಾಸ್ಪಿಟಲ್ ಮಂಗಳೂರು ಇವರ ಪ್ರಾಯೋಜಕತ್ವದ ನೇರ ಪ್ರಸಾರ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ಆರೋಗ್ಯ ಸ್ಪರ್ಶ. ಈ ನೇರ ಪ್ರಸಾರ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ನಿಮಗೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಆತ್ಮೀಯವಾದ ಸ್ವಾಗತ. ವೀಕ್ಷಕರೇ, ಅಸ್ತಮಾ ಮತ್ತು ಶ್ವಾಸಕೋಶದ ಸೋಂಕು ಇದು ಮಳೆಗಾಲ ಮತ್ತು ಚಳಿಗಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ ಅತಿ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಉಲ್ಬಣಗೊಳ್ಳುವಂತಹ ಒಂದು ಕಾಯಿಲೆ. ಪಟ್ಟಣ ಪ್ರದೇಶಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಹೆಚ್ಚಾಗಿ ಜನರು ಈ ಕಾಯಿಲೆಗೆ ತುತ್ತಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸಣ್ಣ ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಂದ ಹಿಡಿದು ವಯಸ್ಕರವರೆಗೆ ದೀರ್ಘಕಾಲದವರೆಗೆ ಕಾಡುವಂತಹ ಕಾಯಿಲೆ ಅಸ್ತಮಾ. ಈ ಅಸ್ತಮಾ ಕಾಯಿಲೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಏನು, ಇದರ ಗುಣಲಕ್ಷಣಗಳೇನು, ಹಾಗೂ ಅಸ್ತಮಾ ಕಾಯಿಲೆಯನ್ನು ಅಸಡ್ಡೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇ ಆದಲ್ಲಿ ಅಥವಾ ಶ್ವಾಸಕೋಶದ ಅಲರ್ಜಿಯನ್ನು ಅಸಡ್ಡೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇ ಆದಲ್ಲಿ ಮುಂದೆ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿಯ ಸಮಸ್ಯೆಗಳು ಉಲ್ಬಣ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು ಎನ್ನುವುದರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಸಂಪೂರ್ಣ ಮಾಹಿತಿಯನ್ನು ನೀಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಯುನಿಟಿ ಹಾಸ್ಪಿಟಲ್ ಮಂಗಳೂರು ಇಲ್ಲಿನ ಖ್ಯಾತ ಶ್ವಾಸಕೋಶ ತಜ್ಞರಾಗಿರುವಂತಹ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಅಲ್ಕಾ ಭಟ್. ಇವರನ್ನ ನಮ್ಮ ಇಂದಿನ ಈ ನೇರ ಪ್ರಸಾರ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ಆತ್ಮೀಯವಾಗಿ ನಾವು ಸ್ವಾಗತಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ. ನಮಸ್ತೆ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್.
ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ
ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್, ಈಗ ಜನರಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಅಸ್ತಮಾ ಮತ್ತು ಉಬ್ಬಸ ಇವೆರಡು ಒಂದೇ ಕಾಯಿಲೆನ ಅಥವಾ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆನ ಹೇಳುವಂತಹ ಒಂದು ರೀತಿಯ ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಷನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಅಸ್ತಮಾ ಬೇರೆನಾ ಅಥವಾ ಉಬ್ಬಸ ಬೇರೆನಾ ಅಥವಾ ಎರಡು ಒಂದೇ ಕಾಯಿಲೆನಾ?
There are many types of breathing problems. One of them is asthma. Okay. The breathing problems, any type of disease which can affect your lung or your breathing system can cause breathing problem. Like those people who smoke, they can develop smoking induced breathing problems. Some people have problems due to lung cancer. Some people have problem due to various other lung diseases. But asthma is one of the things which causes breathing problem. But every breathing problem doesn't mean that it is asthma. Okay. So what is asthma basically? When do you think that this is asthma? When patient has lot of cough, that cough is associated, or kemmu, when kemmu is associated with kui or ghara sound from the chest, okay, which is particularly bad when you are early mornings or late in the night, when you are not able to sleep because of your breathlessness, when you are not able to sleep because of the cough, lot of mucus or lot of phlegm or cough coming out, kapha coming out from the chest. When particularly this asthma is bad during rainy season, like we are having right now, lot of patients as the rainy season is going on, their asthma will be bad. Whenever you go into a dust place or a pollution place, when the breathing problem increases, that is more indicative of asthma. Asthma is also very commonly seen in the families. So if one member of the family is having asthma and if the other person also has that breathing difficulty, then it is more likely this breathing difficulty is due to asthma. But breathing difficulties can be due to many things. One of them is asthma. Not every breathing difficulty is asthma.
Okay. ಸೊ ಹಾಗಿದ್ರೆ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್, ನೀವು ಹೇಳುವಂಥದ್ದು ಈ ಅಸ್ತಮಾ ಹೇಳುವಂಥದ್ದು ವಂಶ ಪಾರಂಪರ್ಯವಾಗಿ ಬರುವಂತಹ ಒಂದು ಕಾಯಿಲೆ ಕೂಡ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ.
Asthma actually is most commonly familial only. Okay. Most of the time, very commonly, it is hereditary only. Okay. Hereditary doesn't mean that only parents should be having asthma. It can be anyone blood related. Like it can be our grandparents, ajja, ajji, sister, brother, if uncle, aunties, anybody is having any type of allergy problems. One of the common reasons for asthma is also allergy. Okay. So some people in the family may be having only skin allergy, but the child may be having asthma allergy. So not necessarily everybody is having asthma only, but if there is a tendency of allergy in the family, then it is not a disease which spreads. It is a disease which is hereditary through the family. Yes. It doesn't mean that when you are living in one room, you will spread the disease to the other person.
ಇದ್ರೆ ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ಬರಿಗೆ ಅದು ಇನ್ಫೆಕ್ಷಸ್ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ನೀವು ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಾ?
Yes, it is not infectious. It is a hereditary disease. It spreads through the blood. It comes through your hereditary, through your genes.
Okay. ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್, ಈಗ ಚಳಿಗಾಲ ಮತ್ತು ಮಳೆಗಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಅಸ್ತಮಾ ತುಂಬಾ ಜಾಸ್ತಿಯಾಗಿ ಉಲ್ಬಣಗೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಈಗ ಇದೇ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಸಾಮಾನ್ಯವಾಗಿ ಶ್ವಾಸಕೋಶದ ಬೇರೆ ಅಲರ್ಜಿಗಳೆಲ್ಲ ಶುರುವಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಕಫ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಕೆಮ್ಮು ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಹೌ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ವಿ ಕ್ಲಾರಿಫೈ, ಅಥವಾ ನಮಗೆ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಓಕೆ ಈ ಸಿಂಪ್ಟಮ್ಸ್ ಇಂದ ನಮಗೆ ಬಹುಶಃ ಅಸ್ತಮಾ ಇರುವಂತ ಸಾಧ್ಯತೆಗಳು ಇದೆ ಅಂತ? ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಆರ್ ದ ಸಿಂಪ್ಟಮ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಅಸ್ತಮಾ?
Cough, continuous cough day and night, particularly worse at night. If the cough is too much bad in the night and patient is not able to sleep, he has to get up in the middle of the night because of his cough. Secondly, if the cough is associated with a whistling or a CT wheezing sound,
wheezing sound
from the this thing. If it is associated with lot of mucus, if the patient is walking or doing any kind of work, if it is climbing the stairs and patient is too breathless, then especially wheezing sound, cough, mucus production, and having any kind of allergy, when these things increase on the exposure to dust or a change in the climate or change in the weather, particularly in the winter season or in the rainy season, then probably these are the symptoms which is likely to be asthma.
ಓಕೆ ಓಕೆ ಸೊ ಈಗ ಈ ಅಸ್ತಮಾ ಅಥವಾ ಶ್ವಾಸಕೋಶದ ಸೋಂಕು ಏನಿದೆ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಕಾರಣಗಳೇನು ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್?
First and foremost reason is familial, hereditary, as I said. Now, why one particular family has asthma and one particular family, this is all genetic. Okay. The reason behind this genetics is not understood yet, but then once in the family it runs, it is transferred through genetics, generation to generation. This is the most common this thing. Then some people now as the time is going, as the century is going, our asthma problems are increasing day by day in the population. This is probably due to the increased level of pollution, the climate changes, the global warming, what we say. Okay, so pollution is another reason for asthma. Okay, sometime in the childhood there might not be any family member who had any kind of allergy, but the baby develops asthma. Okay, so if a baby who has born prematurely, in spite of getting birth after 9 months, if he is born prematurely 7 months, 8 months, their lungs are not completely developed. Okay, they may get in the future asthma. Some people, if they have got a very bad infection in the childhood, lot of cold and cough when they were very too much baby, then that time their lungs have got damaged, that also can cause asthma in the future.
ಸೊ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸಣ್ಣ ಮಗು ಇರುವಾಗ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಆ ಟ್ರೀಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಸಿಗದೇ ಇದ್ದಾಗ, ಕಫ ಶೀತ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಸಿಗದೇ ಇದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಕೂಡ ಅಸ್ತಮಕ್ಕೆ ತಿರುಗುವಂತ ಸಾಧ್ಯತೆ ಇದೆ.
Yes, it is very important. Any little bit cold cough in the childhood, if it is very bad, if it has not been taken care properly, then the lungs become permanently weak, and when they grow up, they develop asthma. So these are the common reasons for asthma. Mainly it increases on exposure to dust, pollution, cigarette smoke. All these can also increase asthma in the future.
ಸ್ಮೋಕಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡುವಂತವರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಈ ಅಸ್ತಮಾ ಸ್ಮೋಕಿಂಗ್ ಇಂದ ಬರುವಂತ ಸಾಧ್ಯತೆಗಳಿದೆಯಾ ಅಥವಾ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಇದ್ದು ಅಲರ್ಜಿ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗುವಂತ ಸಾಧ್ಯತೆ ಇದೆಯಾ?
As you said, you are right. In the childhood, if the parents, if somebody in the family is smoking, then the child has more chances of developing asthma in the future. Plus, those who already have asthma, if they are exposed to cigarette smoke, their asthma can become not controlled. I mean, even if you are giving medicines to them, if they were all right before smoking and now somebody is smoking or they are exposed to smoke, their asthma may become more bad. On the exposure, they may develop also asthma if in the childhood they are exposed to smoke, and their asthma may become uncontrolled if they are exposed to smoke in the future.
ಓಕೆ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್. ಸೊ ಈ ಅಸ್ತಮಾ ಕಾಯಿಲೆಗೆ ಏನಾದರೂ ವಯಸ್ಸಿನ ಇತಿಮಿತಿ ಇದೆಯಾ? ಏಜ್ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಇದೆ, ಇಂಥವರಿಗೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅಥವಾ ಇಷ್ಟು ಏಜಿಗೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳೋದು ಏನಾದರೂ ಆ ಥರ ವಯಸ್ಸಿನ ಇತಿಮಿತಿ ಇದೆಯಾ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ?
Most of the asthma, as we said, they are familial, as they are hereditary, so they are developed in childhood only. You can see the features of asthma within 6 months to 1 year of their birth. Okay, they may develop a lot of cold and cough all the time, some wheezing sound. The child while sleeping, mother will complain that while sleeping I can hear a gurgur sound from his chest. Okay, so most of the asthma are childhood asthmas. They develop asthma during childhood. Those who develop childhood asthmas, they respond better to treatment. Okay, some of the people, they developed asthma much later in life, like they may be having a little bit cold and cough problem in the early age, but when they are 40 years, when they are 30 years, when they are 50 years of age, they develop asthma late also. They may not have had wheezing for 40 years of their life, but at the 40 years of age they may develop having that wheezing and asthma problem. During this time when they develop asthma, it is most of the time due to maybe they have increased their weight. Obesity is one reason. or increase in the weight is one very important reason that asthma which was not there before may come up now. Then if they are exposed to too much of chemicals, or they are working in a factory, or their occupation is such like that they are exposed to too much of dust, pollution, then they are called as late onset asthma. So there are two types of asthmatics: childhood onset asthma and late onset asthma. That way.
ಸೊ ಹಾಗಿದ್ರೆ ಎರಡೂ ವಿಷಯದಲ್ಲೂ ನಾವು ತುಂಬಾ ಜಾಗ್ರತೆಯನ್ನು ವಹಿಸಲೇಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ
Yes,
ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಿ. ಸೊ ಈಗ ಈ ಅಸ್ತಮಾ ಅಟ್ಯಾಕ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಾವು ಕೇಳಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ಸೊ ಈ ಅಸ್ತಮಾ ಅಟ್ಯಾಕ್ ಆದಂತ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಜೀವಕ್ಕೆ ಏನಾದರೂ ಹಾನಿ ಆಗುವಂತ ಸಾಧ್ಯತೆಗಳಿದೆಯಾ?
Yes, depending upon how much severe the asthma attack is. Okay. How do we guess that this patient asthma attack can be very bad is like if they have had very bad attacks in the past, okay, which they had to get admitted in the hospital, then they are more likely to have more and more severe attacks in the future. Okay, if they have not been taking regular treatment from the beginning, okay, and then they suddenly get a very bad asthma attack, then their asthma will be very difficult to control. Suppose they are on a very regular good treatment from the beginning, maybe their asthma attacks may not be very bad. Okay, if the infection which has caused their asthma attack is very bad, then also the asthma attack can be very bad. Asthma attack is bad means it will be very severe. Breathing difficulty will be there. They can hear their wheezing sound. Okay. They will feel giddy because the oxygen level in the body may go down. They will cough very vigorously. So these are the symptoms when the asthma attacks comes. Their day-to-day routine cough, breathing difficulty will be much more worse when they get an attack. Then they have a daily routine. Whether it's severe or not severe will depend upon their profile. If they are very obese people, if the infection is very bad, if the pollution was very bad, if they were not on regular medications, if from the childhood only their asthma has been very bad, then they probably have a higher chances of developing very bad asthma.
ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಈಗ ಅಸ್ತಮಾ ಅಟ್ಯಾಕ್ ಈಗ ಮನೇಲಿ ಇದ್ದಂಥ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಅಥವಾ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಆದಂಥ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೂ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಲ್ಲ ಏನಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ವಿ ಡೂ ಅಂತ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಹಾಸ್ಪಿಟಲ್ಗೆ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗೋದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮುಂಚೆ ಅಥವಾ ಆ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ದ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಏಡ್ ಅಥವಾ ಏನಾದರೂ ನಮ್ಮಿಂದ ಏನಾದರೂ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗತ್ತಾ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ?
First of all, those who have any feature of asthma from the beginning, they have to regularly go to check up for their doctors. Okay. So there is something called as written asthma plan. Okay. So your doctor will advise you what you should do when you have a higher or whenever you have a asthma attack. Okay. They have to take their regular medications. So whenever they have an asthma attack, doctor will advise you those inhalers or those sprays or certain medications which they have to take in emergency basis whenever they have an asthma attack. Now depending, there are also charts which are available. So in these charts, when you can mark your features, what kind of feature you are having. If you are falling in the severe kind of asthma attack in that chart, that means the treatment given by the doctor the advice given by the doctor to take care at home will be different. They will advise you a particular spray which has to be taken how frequently, maybe probably every 10 minutes. You have to go to the hospital, nearest hospital as soon as possible. Suppose your asthma has been bad and you have a nebulizer machine at home, you can take the nebulizations continuously at home whenever you have an attack. If the asthma attack is not very severe, it's a mild attack, then probably their routine medications, they can increase the dose by 1 or 2 steps and try to see. If within 2 to 3 hours their asthma doesn't get control in spite of the increase in the dose, then definitely they have to give more nebulizations, injections, and they have to reach hospital as early as possible. But the best way to avoid or do this, to keep on regularly checking up with your doctor so that the doctor instructs you whenever you have an attack what take care you should be taking. This is easy for the people who are living in the city or who have medical facilities surrounding them. So those who are living in the peripheral or in the villages and all, they better every 3 months or 6 months they should check up with your doctor so that when the attack comes, if they are not able to reach the hospital very soon, they can be instructed what should be done. Most commonly, to increase the amount of sprays they are taking, if suppose they are taking only 2 in the day, they can take around 4 or 5 particular day. Or if they are having a nebulizer machine which they can keep as an emergency they can take 2 or 3 doses of nebulization to curb down their attacks. And the nearest peripheral center or nearest any medical center is there, they can go very easily available. Every hospital available, small injections are there for asthma which can be taken, and then depending upon the severity further treatment can be advised to the patient.
ಓಕೆ
Yes.
ಓಕೆ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್, ಈಗ ಈ ಅಸ್ತಮಾ ಕಾಯಿಲೆಗೆ ಯಾವೆಲ್ಲ ಚಿಕಿತ್ಸೆಗಳು ಈಗ ಲಭ್ಯ ಇದೆ? ಯಾವೆಲ್ಲ ಟ್ರೀಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಅಸ್ತಮಾ ಕಾಯಿಲೆಗೆ ಸಿಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಇವಾಗ? ಯಾವೆಲ್ಲ
Treatment of asthma is yes, very much available. Okay, maybe 20 years back treatment of asthma was not very much defined, but now over a period of time very advanced treatments for asthma is coming. Okay, we have lot of step by step asthma care treatment, like depending upon the mild or moderate level of your asthma severity or very severe asthma treatment. Main then the foremost important treatment for asthma are the sprays. Okay, now in general public or in general people's mind, spray has a lot of misconceptions. That spray is one thing which can cause addiction. Okay, once we take it, once we take it, it is a habit. We will probably never be able to stop it. Okay, so these are the very common misconceptions or wrong ideas what has gone into people's mind. So they are very afraid to take those asthma sprays. Actually, asthma sprays are very, very safe. As you put a drop in your eyes when you have eye infection, or a drop in your ears when you have a ear infection, similarly these are just a drop to your lungs. Okay, they are not going to go into your body or give rise to any kind of side effects. Asthma sprays have no side effects. They are very much approved by Food and Drug Administrations. They have no addictive property. They have no property of causing any habit to the patient. And what doses are received through the sprays, rather than what doses are received through the tablets, the sprays doses are much lesser than what the tablet dose is receiving. So the main and most important treatment for asthma are sprays, and the sprays are very, very safe and very good for asthma treatment, which can be taken regularly. Whether we can stop the sprays in the future once you are that we have to see according to the patient's response. Most of the time these sprays are long term. Most of the time probably they have to be taken for the life this thing. But sometimes depending upon the response, depending upon, suppose a patient's main problem of asthma is due to obesity. If you reduce the weight, then maybe asthma gets better controlled. If you have shifted your place from a very polluted area to living in a non-polluted area, the trigger for their asthma, suppose it's a dust, if you are able to avoid dust in a very good manner, then maybe we can come down with your treatment. But it mostly required for lifetime. Yes, but they are safe. They are not any addictive property, no habits, no side effects.
ಓಕೆ,
Yes.
ವಾಟ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ದ ಇನ್ಹೇಲರ್ಸ್ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್? ಅದು ಇನ್ಹೇಲರ್ಸ್ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ ಕೆಲವರಿಗೆ ಡೌಟ್ ಇದೆ, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದೊಂದು ಮೆಡಿಸಿನ್. ಸೊ ಆ ಮೆಡಿಸಿನ್ ಏನಾದರೂ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಹೋಗಿತ್ತು ರೆಗ್ಯುಲರ್ ಆಗಿ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಏನಾದರೂ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು?
No. Those medicines which are given in asthma are in a very small doses. If you notice, whenever you are taking tablets and all, the doses of the tablets are in milligrams. Milligrams or grams. You must have seen so many tablets when we take. But when you take sprays, the doses of the medicine in the sprays are in micrograms. That means they are 1/100th of the dose what you take as a tablet. Okay? And it's a local medicine. Once you spray, it just goes into your lung. It causes effect in your lung and it dies over there. It doesn't go into your blood, or it doesn't go into your system or anywhere else to give any kind of side effects. And most of the time the doses which are prescribed to the patients are also very, very less in amount. Okay? So they don't have any side effects or any problems due to spray. If you are taking it in a very properly, you have been taught how to take the sprays properly, and if you are carrying out the steps of that sprays very properly, they have no side effects.
ಓಕೆ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್, ಈಗ ಸ್ಪ್ರೇ ಒಂದು ಕಡೆ ಮತ್ತು ಇನ್ಹೇಲರ್ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಕಡೆ. ಸೊ ಸ್ಪ್ರೇ ತುಂಬಾ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತಾ ಅಥವಾ ಇನ್ಹೇಲರ್ ತುಂಬಾ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತಾ?
Okay. All types of asthma devices or sprays or inhalers, they are same. Okay. Their doses, their medications, their effectiveness, all is exactly the same. It depends upon the patient's acceptability. Okay. Old people may not be able to take those sprays properly. Okay. They may not be able to take those capsules very properly. Okay. It just the acceptability or the convenience of the patient. If the whatever patient finds easier to take, that is what is made for him. There is no difference in the medicine which goes into the lungs or side
The
effect.
spray
There is
or,
no.
this.
Anything is okay, depending upon what the patient finds it convenient. That's
Okay,
all. They are same.
ಓಕೆ ಸೊ ವೀಕ್ಷಕರೇ, ಈಗ ಒಂದು ಸಣ್ಣ ವಿರಾಮದ ನಂತರ ಮತ್ತೆ ಅಸ್ತಮಾ ಕಾಯಿಲೆ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಸಂಪೂರ್ಣ ಮಾಹಿತಿಯನ್ನು ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಣ. ಈಗ ಒಂದು ಸಣ್ಣ ಬ್ರೇಕ್. ವೀಕ್ಷಕರೇ, ವಿರಾಮದ ನಂತರ ಮತ್ತೆ ಆರೋಗ್ಯ ಸ್ಪರ್ಶ ನೇರ ಪ್ರಸಾರ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ನಿಮಗೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಆತ್ಮೀಯವಾದ ಸ್ವಾಗತ. ನಮ್ಮ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಯುನಿಟಿ ಹಾಸ್ಪಿಟಲ್ ಮಂಗಳೂರು ಇಲ್ಲಿನ ಖ್ಯಾತ ಶ್ವಾಸಕೋಶ ತಜ್ಞರಾಗಿರುವಂತಹ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಅಲ್ಕಾ ಭಟ್. ಸೊ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್, ಈಗ ಸಾಮಾನ್ಯವಾಗಿ ಏನಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದರೆ, ಈ ಶೀತ ಆದಾಗ ಅಥವಾ ಕಫ ಇದ್ದಂಥ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ, ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಮೆಡಿಕೇಶನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದೇ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ. ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮೆಡಿಕಲಿಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ, ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀವಿ, ಅದನ್ನು ಕನ್ಸ್ಯೂಮ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಸೊ ಯಾವಾಗ ಅಸ್ತಮ ಇದ್ದಂಥ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಈ ಥರ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಮೆಡಿಕೇಶನ್ ಮಾಡೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಏನೆಲ್ಲ ಸಮಸ್ಯೆಗಳು ಉಲ್ಬಣಿಸಬಹುದು, ಅಥವಾ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಇಗ್ನೋರ್, ಅಂದರೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಅಸಡ್ಡೆ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ಪರವಾಗಿಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಏನೋ ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಕಫ ಶೀತ ಅಂತ ಅಸಡ್ಡೆ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ಏನು ಸಮಸ್ಯೆ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು ಮುಂದೆ?
I'll give you a very small example. Whenever you get some kind of injury, suppose in your hand or anywhere, the scar remains.
Okay.
Correct? The scar remains and you cannot do anything about that scar.
Okay.
Correct?
Okay.
So similarly, with every cold and cough or every asthma attack, there is a little damage to your lung. Okay? So the scar of that damage remains in the lung. Okay? When you are young, when the asthma is not very bad, that scar will not give you a problem. But when the age increases, suppose when you reach 50 years of your age, the scars become so much and so much bad that then the scar cannot be reversed and the lungs become too weak. So these repeated attacks, if not being taken care very properly at the time of the attack, they will cause permanent injury to the lung, which over time will be so much that the lungs will become too weak to breathe. Okay? You may not realize it when you are young, 30, 40 years, because your capacity is more. But when you reach 50 years of age, 60 years of age, we see nowadays, now asthma medications are available. But in our previous generation, our grandparents generation, there were not much of asthma medications. You see old people, those who had asthma, they have lot of breathing difficulties when they were 60 years of age. Most of our people, we will hear, they had lot of breathing problem because they had not received proper treatment during that. So taking over the counter drugs will give you a little relief on the time, but it will cause damage to the lung, which over a period of time can be bad for your lungs. Yes.
Correct. ಹೌದು. ಸೊ ಈ ಅಸ್ತಮಾ ಕಾಯಿಲೆ ಬರದೇ ಇರುವ ಹಾಗೆ ಏನಾದರೂ ಪ್ರಿಕಾಷನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆಯಾ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್? ಒಂದು ವೇಳೆ ಬಂದ್ರೆ ಅದರ ನಂತರದ ಏನೆಲ್ಲ ಮುಂಜಾಗ್ರತಾ ಕ್ರಮಗಳನ್ನು ತಗೊಳ್ಬೇಕು?
As I told, it's hereditary most of the time. So most of the time you cannot do anything about it, because it is, if a child by birth has a history, family history that is asthmatic, then we cannot probably do anything about it. But there are certain things which mother can follow, which a child may not get. Like mother living in a pollution free and a smoke free environment. Mother has kept her asthma very well controlled when if she had asthma, or in the family if they had asthma. If they have kept the baby in a pollution free and a healthy environment. If mother has had a healthy diet during the pregnancy time, baby may be protected from asthma. But very less chances, yes. It's higher chances that they may get asthma in the future. And after birth also, if you have given a healthy environment to the baby, there are less likely chances that they may develop an asthma. Now lot of research also is going on to prevent asthma at the level of pregnancy or at the genetic level. We are still on the research phase right now. Maybe we can get some genetic modification treatment which may prevent asthma. Now once you have asthma, what are the precautions you should take is again the same thing, a healthy environment, a very healthy diet. Okay. Living in a pollution free, dust free environment. Dust is very, very common trigger for asthma. Okay. It's a trigger also, and it is one of the most common cause which patient may develop asthma in the future. Avoiding obesity, avoiding high weight, having a very regular physical activity or exercises right from the childhood. Okay. Avoiding smoking or any kind of home smoking environment also avoiding. Then healthy diet, like avoiding junk foods. These junk foods which have lot of preservatives or coloring agents or oily foods, fried items, all these can also cause asthma in the future. So these are the things which you, healthy diet and healthy environment in a short this thing may prevent to develop asthma in the future.
ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್, ಈಗ ಈ ಶ್ವಾಸಕೋಶಕ್ಕೆ ಸಂಬಂಧಪಟ್ಟಂತಹ ಸೋಂಕು ಅದರ ಲಕ್ಷಣಗಳು ಯಾವಾಗ ನಮಗೆ ಕಾಣಿಸುತ್ತೆ ಅಥವಾ ಯಾವ ಲಕ್ಷಣಗಳು ಬಂದಾಗ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಮೀಟ್ ಅ ಸ್ಪೆಷಲಿಸ್ಟ್, ಸ್ಪೆಷಲಿ ಪಲ್ಮನರಿಸ್ಟ್?
Yes. Again, same thing. If you have lot of cough all the time, in spite of taking cough syrups and this, that, you are not getting relief. If they are particularly worst at night, 2 o'clock or early morning, if they are associated with lot of cold, every day morning you are sneezing, you are having running nose, okay. If you have any other kind of allergies, like you have skin allergy problems, if your family members have been having allergy problems, then wheezing sound recurrent, okay, and every time when the weather changes, every time you are going into the dust, your cough, your wheezing is increasing. These are the signs that your asthma is, you have asthma, and you better get consulted with your doctor. The doctor will probably do something called as a spirometry test or a breathing test for you, and that spirometry test and breathing test may tell you what if you are suffering from asthma or not. Yes, yes, yes.
ಈಗ ಈ ಗರ್ಭಿಣಿ ಸ್ತ್ರೀಯಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಈ ಅಸ್ತಮ ಹೇಳುವಂಥದ್ದು ಸಾಮಾನ್ಯವಾಗಿ ನಾವು ಕಾಣ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ ಇತ್ತೀಚೆಗೆ. ಸೊ ಈ ಗರ್ಭಿಣಿ ಸ್ತ್ರೀಯಲ್ಲಿ ಅಸ್ತಮ ಸಮಸ್ಯೆ ಉಲ್ಬಣಿಸಿದಾಗ ಸೊ ಅವರು ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್?
Pregnancy is a very well known, a very established fact for increase in asthma, okay. Many of the hormonal changes which happen during pregnancy, some people, like by family, they may have a tendency for asthma, but now till now age they have never developed an asthma, but during pregnancy their asthma may suddenly come out, okay. If they have already had asthma in before, during pregnancy their asthma can become bad. Okay. So now there are again wrong ideas among public that during pregnancy you should not take your sprays, okay. This is again wrong conception. Sprays or inhaler therapy or asthma treatment, whatever medicines are available for asthma during pregnancy are very, very safe, okay. As I told, the sprays or the inhalers will never reach your baby or will not give rise to any side effect to your baby. So all the pregnant women, if they have any tendency towards asthma, they should regularly get checked up by your specialist, and as advised, continue their inhalers and sprays according to the dose advised by the doctors. They are safe during pregnancy.
ಓಕೆ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್, ಈಗ ಮಾನಸಿಕ ಒತ್ತಡ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆದರೂ ಕೂಡ ಅದು ಅಸ್ತಮಕ್ಕೆ ಮಾರಕ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಇಸ್ ದಟ್ ಟ್ರೂ?
Yes, stress, as we know, is a factor for increase in any disease, whether it's a heart problem, whether it's a brain attack, whether and stress has a very, very important role to play for your asthma attack. It causes lot of neurochemical, hormonal changes in your body which can trigger asthma. It's a very common cause for trigger in women. Okay, asthma trigger. Many of the times you are giving all the medications to the woman, but still they are recurrently coming. The one question you ask, do you have lot of stress in your life? They will tell, yes, madam. When you try to help in relieving their stress, their asthma also becomes better. Yes, stress is very important factor for asthma trigger. Yes.
ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಹೌ ಅಬೌಟ್ ನಮ್ಮ ಫುಡ್ ಸ್ಟೈಲ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ನಮ್ಮ ಜೀವನ ಶೈಲಿ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಸೊ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಬದಲಾವಣೆ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ತರ್ಬೋದು? ಅಸ್ತಮ ಪೇಷಂಟ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ದರೆ, ಮೆಡಿಕೇಶನ್ ತಗೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿಯ ಫುಡ್ಡನ್ನು ಅವ್ರು ತಗೊಳ್ಬೇಕು, ಯಾವ ರೀತಿಯ ಜೀವನ ಶೈಲಿಯನ್ನು ಅವರು ಫಾಲೋ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು?
Healthy diet, again, balanced diet, green leafy vegetables
ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ತಗೊಳ್ಬೇಕು.
as far as possible to avoid vegetable oils and too much of fried oils. They can cause lot of asthma triggers. These packaged foods which are coming, which have lot of preservatives, artificial coloring agents, these are to be avoided because they are very allergenic and they can cause asthma triggers. Okay. Normal daily healthy homemade food is very healthy, there is no problem. But lot of acidic food like citrus fruit, Okay, sometimes they may be a trigger for asthma. Some people may not, some people may get, so those people who think they have a citrus fruit induced asthma, they should avoid citrus fruits.
ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈಗ ಈ ನಿಂಬು ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು ಅಥವಾ ಆರೆಂಜ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು ಮುಸಂಬಿ ಅಂತ
Though it has vitamin C which is good for asthma, but some people they cannot tolerate citrus fruits, so that can be avoided. Peanuts, groundnuts are also again a common cause for asthma triggers. They can also be avoided as far as possible. Some of the dry fruits like walnuts are very good for asthma. Milk and milk products, again people have a very common idea that milk and milk products should be completely avoided during asthma. Yes, many of the people they do get triggered during milk and milk product, but not always every patient. If you think your asthma is getting bad due to milk and milk products, avoid them. Otherwise you can continue your milk and milk products also.
Okay,
So
doctor.
routine homemade balanced diet is always good for these
ಅಸ್ತಮಾ
people. Yes,
ಪೇಷಂಟ್ಸ್.
yes.
ಓಕೆ ಓಕೆ. ಸೊ ವೀಕ್ಷಕರೇ, ಈಗ ಒಂದು ಸಣ್ಣ ವಿರಾಮವನ್ನು ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಳ್ಳುವಂತಹ ಸಮಯ. ವಿರಾಮದ ನಂತರ ಮತ್ತೆ ಭೇಟಿಯಾಗೋಣ. ವಿರಾಮದ ನಂತರ ಮತ್ತೆ ಆರೋಗ್ಯ ಸ್ಪರ್ಶ ನೇರ ಪ್ರಸಾರ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ನಿಮಗೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಆತ್ಮೀಯವಾದ ಸ್ವಾಗತ. ಅಸ್ತಮಾ ಕಾಯಿಲೆಗೆ ಸಂಬಂಧಪಟ್ಟಂತಹ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಸ್ಲೈಡ್ಸ್ ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಲಭ್ಯ ಇದೆ, ಅದನ್ನು ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬರೋಣ. ಓಕೆ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್, ಇದು ಸಿಂಪ್ಟಮ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಅಸ್ತಮಾ ಅಟ್ಯಾಕ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳುವಂತಹ ಸ್ಲೈಡ್ಸ್.
Very rapid breathing, wheezing sound during this thing, very symptomatic cough, wheezing, feeling tightness in the chest. Okay, these are the common symptoms of asthma attack. Yes. So the things explain the asthma attack. This slide explains what exactly happens in asthma. These three things explain. The first one on the left side is the normal breathing tube. Our breathing tube. The yellow one is our breathing channel, and surrounding is our normal tissue and the muscles and all. This is how a healthy normal air our breathing tube looks like. When you have an allergy and an asthma problem, the middle pathway looks like your breathing tube has become little narrow. And it has developed lot of redness around it. The third and the last one shows whenever you are having an asthma attack, it becomes all the more less narrow. Yes, too much narrow. The breathing tube is very narrow. It is producing lot of cough. Also the surrounding red color bands what you are seeing, the normal muscles during the attacks, even those muscles also contract. So that is the time when you develop an asthma attacks. So that is why we have to treat an asthma and bring the level back to the first picture.
ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದ ಹಾಗೆ ನೋಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು.
These are the common triggers which are being shown, like cigarette smoking. Some are very allergic to pets like cats and dogs. That doesn't mean that everybody should avoid cats and dogs. Those who are allergic to cats and dogs, they can avoid. Industrial pollution, certain types of pollens, the trees what are shown. Certain
flowers also.
Flowers which they produce pollens. Pollens are very common cause for asthma. Yes, and asthma triggers. Then small insects like cockroaches. Yes. See, everybody will not have problem due to cockroach, but certain people, their asthma, their reason may be a cockroach. It's not the cockroach. The cockroach, when they spread in your house, they leave their body parts. So those body parts are active proteins which can cause asthma triggers. Any insect, for that matter, in the dust also you have small insects. They are called as dust mites. Dust per se is not a allergen, but those dust mites are the one which are allergen, which causes so living beings in that dust are which are the triggers for asthma. Some people have some food items like mushrooms and all, fungus, molds in the house. In case you have a very damp house with lot of molds surrounding in the house, they also are very trigger for asthma. So this is cigarette smoking, pollution. There is one entity called as you can see one top person who is doing an exercise. Now people will say exercise is good for everything, then why we should tell that as exercise? There is one small entity called as exercise induced asthma. Okay,
that is
not
also
everybody.
rare.
Typically, few very rarely it is there, and very few people have asthma only when they do exercise. Okay, so exercises.
ವ್ಯಾಯಾಮ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರುವಂತ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುವಂತಹ
Yes, yes.
ಆಸ್ತಮಗಳು.
See, not every vyayam or not every yoga or everything. There are certain type of high intensity exercises. They can cause some changes or heat issues in the body. Temperature
Okay.
changes in the
Temperature
body,
ಜಾಸ್ತಿ
which can cause asthma trigger. So this is the picture which explains how asthma can be triggered.
ಓಕೆ ಓಕೆ
This is the picture which shows how the asthma medications they help. Okay, so when you spray the asthma, how the molecule of the medications go right up to the periphery of your lung, and it causes effect, and it opens up your breathing tubes. Okay, they are very safe. They will go up to your periphery of the lungs and they will finish there. They will not enter your system and cause any much side effects in your body.
ಓಕೆ ಓಕೆ ಓಕೆ
This slide has been put mainly to describe that children also, good asthma medications are available even for children, and there are very children compatible devices are coming. Okay, so it is not that sprays and inhalers cannot be given to the children. Children specific, according to their face size, according to their compatibility and convenience, treatment is available for children also. Okay, and it is safe to even give inhalers and all, even for a 6-month baby, even for a 1-year-old baby. Even compatible inhalers and sprays are coming for children also.
ಓಕೆ 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 ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್, ಈಗ ಈ ವ್ಯಾಯಾಮ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಪ್ರಾಣಾಯಾಮ, ಯೋಗ, ಸೊ ಇವನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಅಸ್ತಮಕ್ಕೆ ಕಾಯಿಲೆ ಇರುವಂಥವ್ರಿಗೆ ಏನಾದರೂ ಉಪಯೋಗ ಆಗ್ಬೋದಾ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ?
See, as we know, yoga, pranayama, any exercise is anyways good for our overall general well-being.
Correct.
Okay.
How?
When you do a yoga, pranayama, it causes lot of strength in your muscles of your body. And the breathing exercises which happens due to pranayama or yoga or any kind of breathing exercises, it increases your lung capacity. Okay, so once the lung capacity increases, the chances for asthma are less and the control of asthma becomes better. Okay, as I told, there are very few people which have exercise induced asthma. That is typical, that we know that this particular person has exercise induced asthma, so he has to avoid a particular type of exercises. But that doesn't mean he has to avoid all type of physical exercises. Otherwise, breathing exercises, any kind, whether it's a pranayam, whether it's yoga, whether any kind of breathing exercises, cycling, swimming, all are very good for asthma, because they increase your lung capacity, because they make your chest muscles strong. So your breathing, this thing is helpful for. So I will advise an asthma patient to always physically active and do some kind of exercises.
Can asthma patient go for brisk walking?
If they have acute attack of asthma, if their asthma is not controlled, if they have lot of wheezing, then it is better to control their asthma first and then go for brisk walking. Okay? Because otherwise your oxygen in the body may go down. Because during exercise you require more oxygen for the body, so it may go down. Secondly, suppose it's a very cold winter morning, very high density what happens in the cold environment, this pollution, pollens, dust, all are suspended in the air. When it is a hot weather, they are all more in the superficial, all above part of your environment. But when it comes to the cold weather, they are suspended in our level of environment only. So you are more exposed to these things. So you should avoid going to very heavy exercises in very high cold environment, very polluted area and all those things, places you should avoid brisk walking. Otherwise, in a healthy environment, in a good place where not much of pollution is there, not too much of forestation and all is there, if the weather is compatible, definitely you should go for a physical training. Yes.
ಓಕೆ ಓಕೆ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್, ಕೆಲವರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಎ ಸಿ ಇದ್ದಂಥ ಸಂದರ್ಭ, ಅಂದರೆ ಎ ಸಿ ಈಗ ಸರ್ವೇ ಸಾಮಾನ್ಯ ಎಲ್ಲ ಶಾಪ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಾರ್ಪೊರೇಟ್ ಸೆಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಡೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಎ ಸಿ ಕೂಡ ಅಸ್ತಮಕ್ಕೆ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಕೊಡುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ.
Yeah, see, there are two aspects of AC which can cause a problem. Okay, first of all, cold weather. The cold temperature itself can be a trigger for asthma. Okay, it's not probably the asthma AC which is a culprit. It is the cold blast which comes from the AC which is a culprit. So if AC is unavoidable, and so you can keep the temperature of AC about 23 and all, which may be compatible. Another thing is, if you are not cleaning your ACs very regularly, it will have a lot of dust and pollution and mold deposition. So whenever you are putting on your AC, sudden blast of air from the AC will spread those molds and bacteria and all in your environment, which can cause to asthma trigger. So AC otherwise is not a problem if you are regularly cleaning it, and if you are not keeping the temperature too low. Okay, so if you are not able to avoid AC, then please keep the temperature about 22, 23 and keep on regularly cleaning it. So I think AC should also be
How
fine.
about the air filters, doctor?
Yes. Nowadays, lot of companies are giving very good air filters. In case you are living in an environment where you are not able to avoid lot of wind coming from the forest, bacteria, dust. If you are living just beside a highway and you are not able to avoid, so lot of air filters are coming, which do purify the air to a very large extent. And many patients have reported in their benefit in their asthma once they have put an air filter in their house. So those who are not able to control pollution or dust in their house, they can use air filters in the house. Yes, it will be helpful.
ಓಕೆ ಸೊ ವೀಕ್ಷಕರೇ, ಇಲ್ಲಿಯವರೆಗೆ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಅಲ್ಕಾ ಭಟ್ ಅವರು ಅಸ್ತಮದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ತುಂಬ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಸಂಪೂರ್ಣ ಮಾಹಿತಿಯನ್ನು ನಮಗೆ ಸ್ಪಷ್ಟವಾಗಿ ನೀಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವರಿಗೆ ನಾವು ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳನ್ನು ಅರ್ಪಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thank you.
ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್. ಸೊ ವೀಕ್ಷಕರೇ, ಅಸ್ತಮ ಎಂದರೆ ಏನು, ಅಸ್ತಮದ ಗುಣಲಕ್ಷಣಗಳೇನು, ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಚಿಕಿತ್ಸೆ ಪಡೆಯಬಹುದು, ಇವೆಲ್ಲದರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಾವು ಸಂಪೂರ್ಣ ಮಾಹಿತಿಯನ್ನು ಪಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ಮುಂದಿನ ವಾರ ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ಕಾಯಿಲೆ ವಿಚಾರದಲ್ಲಿ ಅಥವಾ ಇನ್ನಾವುದೇ ವಿಚಾರದಲ್ಲಿ ತಗೊಂಡು ಆರೋಗ್ಯ ಸ್ಪರ್ಶ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದಲ್ಲಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ನಾನು ನಿಮ್ಮನ್ನು ಭೇಟಿಯಾಗ್ತೀನಿ. ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು.
ನಮ್ಮ ಟಿವಿ ಫೇಸ್ಬುಕ್ ಪೇಜ್ ನ ಲೈಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬ್ ಚಾನೆಲ್ ನ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಕ್ರೈಬ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ನಮ್ಮ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬ್ ವಿಡಿಯೋ ಅಪ್ಡೇಟ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಬೆಲ್ ಐಕಾನ್ ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ನಮ್ಮ ಟಿವಿ, ಕರಾವಳಿ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದ ನಾಡಿಮಿಡಿತ.